pops off or they do struggle just a tad, because Magisk is playing different roles. He's not at that same level as we saw him back at Astralis, where he was popping off with a very high major wins, as you said, to conversion rate. dupreeh is another guy that has tons of ability and is a very promising prospect, and obviously has a lot of experience with this roster, but he's not really finding that same kind of caliber. So you're looking at like maybe Madden, because Snappy's certainly not going to. We've already had Simple get shanked at spawn.
Oh, Simple's been stabbed in the back instantly. All right, I mean, is that an omen? I suppose we'll see. That's a hilarious way to kick things off, mate. Sometimes you get stabbed in the back. Falcons, here we go. T-side pistol versus Eclot. An interesting team that could potentially throw a bit of a cheeky upset against Falcons. It'd be a hell of a way to start things off. Obviously, we know all too well the trials and tribulations that this organization's been through at RMRs. Madden, up close towards Dark. It's Blitz with the Julies in hands. Turns, takes the fight. Good damage onto the second as well. Lucky that Simple survives that off the back of even the damage and spawn from his teammate. Could have been hellish, but he's on the bomb site now, and he's got backup. FaZe, though, swings out round the back. Vince takes the head clean off.
Oh, it's down to Snappy. He was the player that shanked Simple. And now he has to try and make amends with the clutch. I don't think he knows he's about to get backstabbed by MBQK. Oh, he's dead, man. He's got him dead to rights, and Eclot start with a clutch and a post plant on top of it. Oh yeah, bit of an awkward one really on the push in. It's like they weren't checking the angles. FaZe got a free B pick from the back as well, and they never really like established from that point or stabilized it.
Yeah. Maybe Snappy had just changed the mouse. That's why he accidentally stabbed him, mate. Getting used to the buttons.
Yeah, it works. It works simple.
God damn. Boros the Butcher makes an appearance as the blade stabs him in the back. Right then, Eclot, first round on the board for the pistol. Cheeky one here. Strap in for this. Be a hell of an upset. Let's see how it goes on the rebuy straight back in. You got Mac 10s. Galil in the hands of Snappy. Flashbangs to work with as well. Throwing him deep over the back of the B-bomb site and looking for the run on in. Up on top with the M4 though. Can't afford the luxury of going for a peek due to the utility usage, and Magisk and Snappy activate early. Looking good for a response back in.
Yeah, this has been clean. Way better than that pistol round. Snappy with a hail of gunfire just spraying through the smoke, forces back the CTs, and Eclot will have to save. Dita had 2 kills in that opening engagement on the pistol, but couldn't see anything through the hail of smokes that were all in his face. So Falcons with the perfect retort, retaliating with their first round of what they hope will be many. And to put it in perspective as well, for maybe those of you that don't know too much about Eclot, they do play a hell of a lot of Anubis, 26 recorded maps played. It's their second most behind Mirage, with a 50% win rate, dead even. And some notable wins against the likes of Sashi. They had a very close game against BetBoom as well, but obviously they're not playing against the caliber of teams of the tier 1 bracket like Falcons have been. So take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, and it's a ton of domestic games, right?
Oh yeah.
Awful lot of online played. Taking wins within their region as well. Slovak National Championships, that was the first place. Had 2 first place at the Tip Sport Summer and Spring events as well. Of course, it's all domestic. That's kind of the difference, right? It's not your tier 1 matchups. So you've got to rise to the occasion here. You've qualified to the event. How far can you take it? That's always the question with these sort of quantities, especially with a roster like Eclot. Early on, you get the 1-for-1. It was a nice pistol, but the follow-up wasn't there, so you've got to make the best of the cash flow you've got available. 2 M4s, 3 MP9s supporting it, but almost bone dry on nades already. It's only 1 flash in the back pocket of Blitz.
Well, the good news is they still have control over mid for the most part, so they can react accordingly. But yeah, the lack of utility is a bit of a problem. They've gone for firepower over it, got a bit of a boost in here for Daitor. Blitz is perching him up. Trying to strike from that nest, but it's Madden. The Magpies him out. Snappy in the meanwhile in the drive-by with the Mac 10. And although Falcons take a lot of damage on the approach, it's still going to be the site that's going to read theirs in this post plant. May just goes down to MBQQ. Not sure if they can actually retrieve that weapon just yet, though. They have now picked it up, and Snappy activates. A lot of damage inflicted again, but it looks as though Eclot will be good to save these 3 weapons, 2 of which are rifles. It does mean that Falcons, though, will take the lead at 2-1.
Realistically, should have been a Falcons round coming into it with a buy you had available. And for the 2 low HP players, the fact you're able to get out and actually still have that Galoo in your hands is impressive stuff. So you'll carry that into the next.
Terrorists win.
Cash to work with, though, for the Falcons. Can reinvest that instantly. Get the AKs back out on parade.
Terrorists.
And the 2 players you're really looking out for as well, by the way, on Eclot are Blitz and MBQQ. Blitz with a 1.17 over the last 3 months. Having some really big performances. Very adept with the rifles, but he in this round is going to have to try and do a lot with very little on that P250. So a player to definitely watch out for going forward. Grenades now tossed in. And Falcons just taking a split and pick approach. They must know that Eclot have like pretty rough finances alongside those 3 save weapons. Just gonna sit back and wait and see what unfolds.
Ooh. Info play out down towards Dark. You swing with a pistol, try and reel them in. And it's the M4 of Falsey that looks to deal with real damage. He gets 1 for free. They backpedal towards the bomb site. Of course, still a little bit of a bonus to work with here for Falcons. You keep the previous weapons alive. The Khalil for Madden. Snappy with the SMG. They're still situating themselves round towards the site right now. Bomb's been picked up by Madden. He comes and joins the rest of the squad. Can link up with Dupree. You've got a 2-pronged hit onto the site. But the penny's already dropped. They push their way out through A main. They've got the wrap around the back. Magisk on the peek out. Good for 1. Long-range firefight. AK in his hands looking good. First taps there, stalls the response.
Two expendable players in Dieter and Blitz. Could very well go in for this one. You want to hold on to the Galil and M4 realistically, though. So it feels like it's going to be a dip in the pool at most, maybe some exit frags. Falcons will have a 3-1 lead coming into the first proper full investment round for Eclot. And what's your read of Falcons right now, Jackie? Like, I know there's a very small sample size with Simple, but do you feel like they could make it through here? Are they like a dark horse pick in your eyes?
It's weird, because I feel like, you've got the talent for it, you've got the firepower. It's one of those, right, where you look at it, you've got all the winning pieces. It just feels like something always goes a bit wrong. It's like they're cursed almost with some of the games they lost, the upsets they face, the way you just can't really find everyone playing their best at the same time. I don't know, Vince. It's a weird mix. I think there's definitely potential they could make it through, but the bounty's on their heads. For me, this is a team that I think, really, it's not going to be an easy path, right? No matter who you play, especially up against some of the other bigger names. They're gelled. They're 5 fingers in one hand. They've got great synergy, whereas for Falcons, I still think that's developing. It doesn't feel like it's there.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure for Falcons to deliver as well in terms of some of the periphery players like the Maddens and the Duprees of this team. 1-4 trade early on, but Snappy with that MAC-10 decides to try and make the most of that spawn and gets 2. He had 5k in money and still elected to go for the MAC-10. And the run and gun style has boosted him into a 5-kill streak. Eclot will have to save one more time, although this could give them a chance, a bit of a labored spray from Kriaz, but he gets his man all the same. Simple on the prowl, hunting for some prey, and Kriaz is not long for this world. The timing may favor him. Does Simple assume he's gone to the rogues? Absolutely not. Surely not a knife. He's going to find both players now, can shut them down. There's the first. Kriaz going to go in for that wide swing, and Simple does what Simple does best, and that is frag hard. Falcons 4-1. Eclot in trouble, man. That was a pretty weak showing on a rifle round.
Yeah. Rounds like that is what's going to put this game into perspective, really. The duality of both of these two teams. Think about major appearances, not a single one on Eclot, all of them looking to have their debut in Shanghai at the Perfect World Major. Whereas for Falcons, combined, it's been 48 major appearances.
Oh, fuck, I always forget.
Well, there you go. Stark contrast in terms of the statistics, but it's all about what you get done in the server, living in the moment. Of course, going into this round, it won't get any easier. Absolutely broken by just the one M4 that's kept alive. Everyone else rocking the AKs on Falcons.
Man, kind of getting back to that point, when there's all these rumors flying around about Jimmy and Spinks and these other players about potentially joining Falcons, I've heard Nico as well, obviously, is the famous one. If you're like a Madden, a Magisk, a Dupree on this team, maybe even a Snappy, you're thinking like, kind of got to have some success at this RMR major because our jobs are potentially on the line right now. So if that's going to maybe give them extra motivation to commit to this and like put themselves in the best possible standing, I should say, for the future. This, of course, should be just an eco bash round. Snappy with that Mac 10 again. Trying to dethrone and dig up the dirt a little bit over on that B side while his teammates get the plant down on A. Looking good for the 5-1.
Bomb has been
Little bit of damage back. One pickup there onto Snappy. Magisk low on health, but shouldn't really be able to find him. Meanwhile, Simple, he's roaming. Goes John Rambo for one of them. Strips the pistol out of their hands. It's FaZe really that's looking for the dedicated save here. Armor, M4 to be brought over. Zaitor as well with a Deagle. Just tuck on in, let this one go by, but it will be a 5th round. So they found the pistol, but it's been moot since then.
terrorists win.
Yeah, exactly. Struck in the first round, then 5 back-to-back, and very convincingly so from Falcons, in all honesty. Bit of a flubbed pistol round, but bouncing back ever so strong in the second, and since then it's just been them pulling away. Dupree's not really been required, still at the 0-2. Early tactical timeout called. I mean, if you're looking at the silver linings, you're on the CT side, you've had a bit of a rough start. You know, on the T half, you can get things started. The CT side's always under the cosh here on Anubis. But I think it's the nature and how we've seen them kind of just be dispatched in these rifle rounds. It's more cause for alarm. How easy it's looked. Snappy just running around with a Mac 10 farming. He's on nearly 120 ADR, by the way, with 6 kills.
I think that certainly what's made it look a whole lot more scary. Just the quality of the rounds when you've actually had firepower hasn't been there. Of course, you've taken the tactical time out here. You like to see that. At least going back into things here where you've got an even buy to play with. Put your best foot forward. Get replay the culture involved and then go back in, try and do some damage. Let's see if round 7 is a bit of a better eye test for Eclot. FaZe has the AWP this time. Rifles surrounding it. Simple with a scope himself as well. Takes the warning shot out through mid. Bit of a spam back. Brings him down to 76.
Important not to hemorrhage kills early on in this round, though, for Eclot. You've got to force Falcons into these awkward engagements towards the dying embers of the rounds. Flashes there, follow-up damage as well for Kriaz. Taking minimal in return. I think that's where maybe Falcons will start to come apart a little bit, is on those late round executions. You just gotta stay alive and see what they've got. Nade thrown in as well behind that smoke. May just think someone might be hiding behind it, but that's not the case. And with 53 seconds left, Falcons starting to make a move now over onto the opposite side of the map on B. Molotov's down, Snappy's getting aggressive. This time though he's bested.
It's looking a whole lot better from them. It'd have to be something heroic now, and the dink instantaneously onto Simple leaves him with just a sliver of health. Nade rolls around the corner. Goodbye, Simple. Only Magisk remains, so Eclot waking up in the 7th. And it hasn't looked anything near clean for them. You've kind of been falling over on the site hits, the 1v1s. This time at least finding impact, and FaZe with the scope, showing what you can do. Magisk looking for the save, spots the head of Blitz, takes that man down. Won't really be room to get the weapon out of his hands unless you go for the wild swing out through mid-side. No harm, no fail. Save the free weapons. Detour just went for the run up to grab the 8K and then tuck straight back in. Didn't want to run the risk of losing another weapon. So they get the round and have a healthy buy going into the next.
Really slick crosshair placement as well, by the way, from Magisk at the end. Didn't even have to budge a millimeter, just insta headshot. Yeah, simple shot in the back and then finished off. Couldn't do much. Fair enough. Can't argue with that.
Top 10 simple lines. That's another one. Instant classic, mate.
You know, I thought after seeing him die, he'd have something to say about it. And he didn't disappoint, did he?
Oh, yeah, but I feel like we'll be getting quite a few of those. I'm living for it, mate. That's what I've missed.
Grenade tossed in, it's behind that smoke, and meanwhile, Falcons picking up the pace, Molotoving out onto A main already, forcing the early smokes out from Eclot, conditioning them to be a bit more reactive than proactive in this half. Got to deliver on that promise though, of course, and it's kind of deja vu from that last round. Flirtation around A main, but then backing back over onto B. This time though, they haven't dealt any death in the hands of Kriaz onto middle. Could be a difference maker. The Falcons getting a lot of map control early on already.
Just shy of 50 seconds left on the timer. And it's back to basics with a late round hit on the B bomb site. Kriaz creeping out on mid. Could find some back turns. You can see the swivel on Dupree, a bit paranoid about this. Honed in on the angle now. It should be good for the read if he peeks out. Ooh, catches him. That's Dupree down, forces the issue. They've got to push out onto the site. Snappy baits the peak, simple. Hits the connection. 20 seconds. You've got to do something and do it damn soon. They're not going to have long left on this one. Simple closes the gap. Wants to combat up. Here's the footsteps. Oh, it all goes wrong. Shaky hands with the AWP. Detour downs him and Forcey replies back on a Madden.
Ooh, uncharacteristic from Simple, like somewhat snatching at the opportunity. That looked rough. Caught in the extremity of the smoke and Molotov. The player was burning. Still can't quite nail the shot though. Yeah, Kriaz with that flank that you highlighted was a huge part of this. Magisk just had to get around the back and didn't check all of his angles. So as poor as Eclot were looking a couple rounds ago, starting to see a lot more stability now coming from them. Taking the fight to Falcons, going in for those audacious flanks. It's much better. Dupree just doesn't look happy, does he, at all? Like, his body language is all over the place.
Yeah, wearing his heart on his sleeve there. Obviously, for Dupree, RMRs must feel a lot more problematic this time around. The all-time major record, 19 majors attended. 5 of them being wins, of course, as well. But he missed his first major last time around with the opening CS2 major in Copenhagen. That's what broke the streak. You don't want that to happen again, Vince.
That was with Preezy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time around. They kind of came out of nowhere, captured the hearts of many CS fans. So yeah, I mean, Dupree, if you want to talk about CS excellence and royalty, he's definitely up there in the running. But he's up against a man many would say is the GOAT of CSGO. But you could say there's not really much of an argument about that one. Can he continue to deliver in CS2? That is a question many people are asking themselves right now as they watch on. Hasn't been the biggest test thus far. Good grenade damage though to Magisk. Straight onto the dome, down to 61, he will fall.
And these are better signs of life from Eclot as well. The utility usage has actually been pretty clean the past 2 rounds with the way they're opening things up with the HEs. Being able to soften up their opposition. They're reserved as well. They're not overly cautious, not using their nades early off a little bit of a show. They're making sure they use it where they count. MBQQ, back of the site. Magisk will put a bullet right between his eyes, and they've still got time to play with on this one. Don't need to commit just yet. Forcey finds the tap straight back, but Snappy on contact in. craters Kriaz and opens up a pathway into the bomb site. Rotations coming quickly though. Detour peeking up. Ooh, could actually take down the bomb planter. That's on to Snappy. Look how low they are, Vince. Simple and Magisk with 11 HP combined.
Not much time, even 20 seconds on the clock, and they need to try and force this bomb down. They still need to retrieve it first and foremost. 15 seconds, Simple down to grenades once again. They need Dupree to activate. Smoke clearing, he's got the drop on both players. Spray is only good for one, leaving his Danish teammate partner in crime on low HP, but Magisk threads the headshot and saves Falcon in this round for a 6th. So close though.
Felt like that was another one in the bag. They made it so uncomfortable. Such little time on the clock, about 6 seconds. He just had the bomb on his back, but he knew they'd go for the peek in, expecting him to tap the bomb, looking for the plant. Instead, he keeps his crosshair honed on, believes in himself, and hits the shot. 3 rounds ahead. Still cash flow to work with. CTs buy straight back in. Early utility usage, change of pace as well. They're going quicker this time around, running straight into the AWP of FaZe though. That's Madden. Slay to the ground. Molotov forces him off the angle. He still wants to fight this.
I was really expecting a re-engagement with the 2 Molotovs that landed. One to back a pillar, one to back his site. So we're kind of left in this awkward no man's land in the middle of the site. I was anticipating a flash into a push. I'm not sure if it was paralysis by analysis or what happened there, but it felt like they may have missed their chance to take this round. Still in with a shot, of course, with 4 players, but you can see that there is now aggression elsewhere. On the extremity of A main, they've pushed out with Crazy once again, trying to take the fight to Falcons. These are angles that will be very difficult to deal with. Additionally, they don't know if mid's been pushed. So much of the map is a big question mark as far as Falcons are concerned.
There's the jiggle on the swing. Oh, it baits the info just enough that they don't hard clear the corner. Snappy's going for it. Simple though. Quick on the draw. Wild West maneuvers. Strikes back with the AWP. Nade damage is good on exit as well. Peering over the top of the smoke. You peek into this, you could be a dead man walking. But again, it's 30 seconds on the timer and you're trapped outside of the bomb site. Spam through from Detour. Softening them up massively. Simple. Left alive on 36 HP, but Magisk gives as good as he gets.
You could just hear that from the perspective of Detour. I think it was like, dink. There's one bullet through the smoke. Oh, must have been filth. Doesn't really matter, though, in the grand scheme of things, because Eclot have dragged themselves back into a 4th round. And again, this being the CT side of Anubis, like they're getting into a pretty solid half right now. When you consider it was 5-1 at one stage, and Eclot, if we're being honest, Jackie, they look dead and buried. I know it was super early, but I'm looking at it and I'm grimacing, thinking, oh no,
yeah,
this is going to be a bloodbath. So full credit to them for managing to withstand it and bounce back, and actually put Falcons to the sword now. They're making them sweat this one out.
I was on the same wavelength as you. Obviously, cash flow is one thing, right? You won the opening CT pistol, but then instantly get reset, so some awkward in-between kind of rounds with the weaponry they're using. As soon as the AWP came alive for FaZe, though, he's been finding ways to crack open these rounds. He's keeping them guessing in terms of his positions. Snappy calls it again. They go straight back to basics. They want to go for this fast B play that they tried to slip into last time, running out towards the A site. MBQ snaps the head of Dupree. Peppers him back as well. Mass use of utility thrown over towards the site to allow him to actually push up close. It's Madden that's looking for the run out, but just committing to the plant.
Plan successful. Smoke's now beginning to dwindle and fade, so they're going to be reimbursed. Kriaz comes out with the first in this encounter. Big shot from Madden. Needs to get onto Detour. Spray slightly off, and Detour will punish. Simple in familiar territory with his back against the wall in yet another clutch post plant. First shot goes awry. He'll be flashed and forced away from that smoke and cannot deny the defuse. Eclot have brute forced their way back onto the site for another successful retake. And these strats, by the way, Jackie, it feels like Falcons are of this mentality like Snappy's like, listen guys, we're just better. Let's just run and gun and just beat them on straight up duels. You're not going to get away with this forever, and especially not against the top flight teams.
Yeah, it felt like a bit of a Snappy classic, right? Call the same strat twice, go for the fast hit, see if it works out. Boy, oh boy, though. You can see the contrast in weapons here going into the last round of the first half. They could equalize this. You could get a 6-6 on Anubis. For the CT side, with the start they had, it'd be a monumental comeback into it. Simple going to be smoked off early towards mid. Weaker weapons lurking outside of A in case there's a run out. It's the Galil in the hands of Magisk with Snappy's Mac 10. He's been good with the SMG over the course of the game. Just trying to show a bit of presence here. Seeds of doubt in their mind. You've still got the stack over towards B though. Tucked into jail.
When you look at the stats as well, by the way, over 26 maps played in the last 3 months on Anubis, 41% CT round win rate for Eclot. That's even below the average. It's typically a T-sided map, but not that much. 58% T rounds go their favor. So if they can get the 6-6 here, Jackie, we are on for a very interesting second half.
Well, that 6-6 is one step closer. There's with 40 seconds left. Walking up into the crosshair of Snappy, though. That could be the problem. MBQQ taken out. Kriaz, you've got a lot to do here. Camera control needs to be a huge talking point on the round if they commit to it, but they back off. They call quits on the play. They exit out. Snappy's rotating back around. They're going to dark. They're going to try and hit the B site instead. Up close, it's Blitz. He's tucked in. Do they clear him? Snappy looking for the response back. Good with the follow-up. Bomb's going to be planted. All on the retake then. Nade over. Only does a bit of chip damage onto him, but Detour strikes first. Forzy. 1v1 versus Simple. Knee goes down heavy. Eclot equalizing at the half. 6-6 versus the Falcons.
Oh, dear, dear, dear. This is getting a little bit nervy now for Falcons. You were 5-1 in the lead. You conceded 5 out of 6 of the last rounds there. And you are in an awkward position now for the second pistol. They will be considering their options going forward here. Snappy on the CT side now, figuring out what's going wrong. And really, Kriaz played that so well in cams. You said he's going to have to deliver. Although he may not have got kills, he was positioned in a way that he heard every single footstep. The second that they pieced out of middle, he heard multiple sets of feet going back. This allowed a fast rotation around the CT side and a flank as well to come in. And they were in perfect position to deal with the straggling players once they got off that post plant. Really nicely done. Still anybody's game, of course. And I'll say again, the stats don't paint a great picture for Falcons, but this is Eclot, who are typically playing like tier 2, tier 2.5, domestic matchups. So you've got to take it with a bit of pinch of salt. But what we do know is they are typically much better on their T half than they are on their CT side.
I'm shooting the purdle, but he's shooting fucking dead.
Oh, mate. A majority Czech team with Blitz hailing from Romania, Kriaz from Sweden. The vibes look good in the Eclot camp. They certainly would be, but this pistol round's important. You've taken the first. Can you find yourself the second on the half? Magisk eats the damage as well. 19 HP off the starting pistol. Oh, man. How's this one going to go? Madden looks for a little bit of a face. Once the info play towards mid-side, it's 4Z Blitz. And a bit of backup there with Kriaz as well, rotating over. If they peek into this, could catch him on the timing. 2 frags found with another one added to the total tally as Blitz ruins Snappy with the Glock. They could be on board for their second pistol.
Bro, 3-on-3 in mid, you don't take a single kill and barely scratch the surface on Kriaz? Falcons. What is happening right now? You would think coming into this, with no disrespect to Eclot, but when it comes to like fragging potential, the Falcons are going to be a level above. I did say this before though, when we were analyzing sort of in the pre-game, one thing about Falcons they do sometimes struggle with is firepower. Like Simple obviously came in with the intent purpose of being their star player, a heavy hitter, but when you go past him, who else is there realistically that's going to be posting up big numbers game in, game out? Magisk has capabilities, sure. Dupree does as well, but he's 1-9 right now. Like you could see he's just not happy. He's not comfortable. This is where you run into that problem. If you're lacking firepower, you're going to get found out in these rounds.
Terrorists win.
That's a salt in the wound as well, because it's obviously their T side. You can set the pace of the game. They can actually take these engagements, take fights all over the map, wherever they want them. And that seems to be where they're at their best. For Falcons, second pistol's gone. Reinvestment comes out. 5.7s, upgraded pistols. Magisk with the MP9. Some nades. A couple of smokes, 4 of them to be precise, off the back of the first being thrown out early to block off the fast play in towards A main. But Eclot, I don't imagine they're going to run into the wind on this one. They'll play it slow.
This is the last time I mention this, but just to put it in context while we're in this round. Simple obviously has a very small sample size, 1.12. After that, Madden, 1.02. Magisk, 1.0. Dupree, 0.94. And Snappy, 0.88. The stats don't lie. And that's HLTV rating, which obviously takes into account multiple facets like ADR, damage done, these kinds of statistics. There was a huge drop-off past Simple. They've got the early 1v1, though, in terms of a trade, but Magisk feeling a little bit worse for wear down at 52. But that's kind of my concern right now, Jackie. And having seen this map play out, I've not been won over just yet.
Now, leaving a lot to be desired in some of the engagements. How it was FaZe that was the star of the show with the AWPing. And we're Simple on the server. And there's a bit of a damning statement. He's got Julies here. 2 guns is better than 1. Let's see if he can have some fun out from camera. Tags, but no conversion. Doesn't take him down, so they get the site. They get exactly what they wanted off the back of this. They keep those players alive, barely. Snappy on the wraparound, he's got a HE. They could find some impact. Tries to play his hand up close, spams out with a MAC-10. Nade's gonna go all right. Even hits the low player, but can't finish it. But now you just got to give it up at this point. Play for the exits. Again, that's going to be another round going the way of the T's.
Yeah, we're not talking about an eco round either on this one. This was a full investment. Down to very little. Simple, obviously, skimping out on a purchase so we can get that AWP a little bit quicker. But he's only up to 1,400 before the bomb detonation. So, Falcons looking like they could be a 9-6 deficit potentially, before they can even fully start to envelop themselves into full-on investments. Dupree with death from above. Could get a second as well to a low blitz. Oh, the bomb's going to finish off the players if they're not careful. And Dupree goes in, getting a couple more kills for his name. He's going to draw away some of those rifles. Not bad damage inflicted to Eclot. The problem for Falcons is they can't really force in to punish it. They kind of have to sit back and hope for the best.
And as much as they spilled a lot of blood, dropped a lot of guns on the floor, you don't get any of them.
What?
Can't carry them over, man.
Are they force buying? Did I just see them buy M4s?
They're going straight back in.
I swear I saw an M4 picked up at the end there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Vince.
Dead, I think. Last guy's gone.
Okay, they're just equalizing. I saw an M4 pick and I was like, please, like, what's going on?
Yeah. Instant tunnel vision.
It's the hero M4. All right, that makes a lot more sense.
A lot more acceptable. The hands are simple there. Balance out the cash, still 2.5k in the back pocket, so it's not the end of the world whatsoever. It makes sense for the flow that you had. And I mean, the pace has been nice from Eclot on their T side. It's not as if it's been one-dimensional. They've been able to slow it down, speed it up. Again here, up close and personal. It's only Snappy's MAC-10. He finds one straight to the head. They're looking for the trade back. He's been damn good with this SMG. He won't get himself a third, but you've done a lot of damage. And Simple was there, looking for more. He walks out, but dead and buried. Simple's gone. You've equalized it.
Man, Snappy did so much work. You even supplied Simple with the M4 so we could make the most of that weakness, but instead you're now a player behind. Major's caught from main. MBQQ will not give him any room for error. No prisoners taken on this approach. And sure, it's not a full investment. Falcons will have a buy into the next, but they had a golden opportunity to get closer and bring Eclot down. Maybe Madden can still do it with the P250. No one there watching FaZe's back. And Dupree now starting to make a move into position through on cams. 18 seconds left on the clock as they try and get that plant down. They need to fully commit to it this time. Detour on 50 HP. But now that smoke's going to start to fade, and Dupree has a chance.
MBQQ peeks out. Dupree. He wants to play his card at just the right time. Don't reveal himself until he's ready to find a pickup. Slowly weaving his way through the backline. Madden can take the attention. He can try and make the play. It's all getting messy, though. Madden's the only one making moves. Dupree, at least in the 1v1 up against Detour, does connect it in the end. But that's a round that Madden saves for them.
Yeah, 2 massive kills for Madden, as there will be enough time for the defuse, even without the kits. Oh, man, that was a roller coaster of a round. Snappy with 2, Simple doesn't make the most of it. They get the entries onto the site, you're thinking, oh, they've let this one go by. And then Madden with his P250 just comes alive. The clutch factor in this round for Falcons was huge. That is a great shot from Detour, to be fair. Take nothing away from the man, he did deliver in spades. This is where it got a bit weird. Like, I'm so surprised that Madden was given the opportunity to effectively take 1-for-1 engagements when you had 3 players still alive on the side. That's a bit of a head scratch, and I'm sure a bit of a tilt for Eclot, knowing they should have dialed in for a 9th round there.
And for the very first time on the CT side, it feels like Falcons are able to live the high life. Actually have a healthy buy to work with, and it's Eclot that has the shoe on the other foot. Kriaz has the rifle. Up close though, Dupree. Good for 1, but Kriaz instantly trades. Runs in with the Kalashnikov and rips the head off. Simple. Juggling angles. They bait out the crosshair. He still holds strong on the fight. Madden again, making some monstrous moves. And with only FaZe running in on 20 HP, this should be a relatively easy conversion. Snappy swings with the SMG, 8-8. But still, it looks squeaky. It looks scary.
Yeah, there was definitely some trembling, some tremors as they tried to hold on to the site. The good news, though, for Falcons is it was a full investment, so they can now breathe a little bit of relief. A bit of a reprieve should be coming up. Maybe some P250s, maybe a couple of deagles, but nothing really too significant. It's good to see Simple still smiling and enjoying himself. He's not had the most like pristine games, I think it's safe to say. Like he's missed a couple of chances here and there. As long as he's in high spirits, and that's good news for Falcons. And again, we go back to that same thing as Simple through the smoke to the head. Doesn't matter if Simple plays great or not, as long as they get the win, and he's got a second USP kill. It's against an eco, but still it's through the smoke. It's so disgusting.
Simple smoke shots with a USP. And Snappy cleaning them up. And that's what he's been doing all game. He's the one padding the stats with the SMGs, running in there. Thriving in the carnage. Oh, there it is from Simple's POV as well.
Mid.
Nice!
Got the intensity.
Man, it's like he's a pilot, like in the jet fighter or something, trying to keep control of the stick.
It's like that meme, you know, the one where it's like when someone's trying really hard and they're sweating.
Down. Yeah, that guy's jeez, you could definitely clip that and take that as a meme.
Oh yeah, recreate that one.
It's properly into it. That's awesome.
And you got to be mad. He's leading by example, right? Like 17 kills. Yeah. Madden, as much as it's not as high on the total tally, he's had a ton of impact with the frags he's finding. We need everyone to come alive right now. This is a game that by no means is over.
Just looked like his mouse weighed like 20 kilos or something. Like he's
got the dumbbells on it.
Yeah.
It's one way to get your exercise in.
There he is again. Man, how many SMG kills he picked up this game? It must be at least 10.
Yeah, it's like the majority of his frags have been all SMG. All MAC-10, all MP9. Doesn't need a gun. He's the bank right now. With 3 players left for Eclot. It's not the dream round they would have wanted going into the 18th. Not dead and buried yet, though. Flashbang for Detour. Smoke, HE, and Molly in the back pockets of FaZe. Ooh, Snappy catches the timing, though. All the info in the world can be passed over to the players on the B bomb site because of this.
100%. And they know they can lock in position. They can get the rotation come through as well. You can see they've got so many angles to watch on the site now. No one had to fall off. They want to find intel. And Eclot may want to try and save. There's a snake in the grass. Snappy, though, has been beheaded. And Simple is going to keep this round underway, and time does the rest for them. FaZe could be going down after time, though. The spray's not good, but they're Simple from the back. Definitely worthwhile for Falcons. Yes, they lost 4 players, but they have crippled FaZe economically. He's down at $600.
A heist from Falcons at the end there. Break the bank. And of course, with a ton of money in their back pockets, you're not going to care. You can instantly reinvest. Most players on like 10K right now. They're bankrolling, so they can buy straight back into it. Eclot, nowhere near similar. And with the scoreline getting so dangerously close in this opening BO1 for Falcons, it's insult added to the injury.
Also, to put it in perspective, by the way, how rough Falcons have had it as of late. They're on an 8-match loss streak coming into the RMRs. Last played against Eternal Fire. That was 3 weeks ago, so they've obviously had plenty of time to boot camp and get everything set up properly, but it's all red in their results column. So this would be a good time to make it some green. You're talking about green for envy, the players and people aren't able to watch these games. Well, Eclot can only watch on as their opposition leapfrog ahead of them and make moves towards that very mark. After having so many chances and advantages in this game, and a full half buy into middle, and they're being smacked down by tons of grenades. Snappy this time missing out on some kills, but goes back in for seconds and does get punished.
Might have reeled them in enough, though, that Simple can do the rest of the work for them. On the jump back across, the Tech-9s deliver. Hang on a minute, this is now a 2v2. They're Tech-9s. They're up close, running on in, Dupree. That's the spray we wanted to see. Straight back, punishes them. None of these have been clean, but they're still being able to find wins. Oh, mate. Scary scenes. And the reinvestment's there. AK's back out. 2 fights Snappy took as well. He's been farming with the SMGs. This time the bullets just went everywhere, but he wanted them to.
Oh, nice. One more mid.
Can he go, Kemba?
No. Wait,
I just love as well that Snappy has fully embraced, like, I need to be the entry frag IGL. I need to be the guy that's getting super aggressive. You sometimes see Karrigan doing this as well when FaZe are struggling just a little bit. He's fully embraced that. Oh, flash is good, but Simple still loses his dome through the smoke. Exquisite entry frag, but they need to build off the back of that one. And Dupree may have started slow, but he's heating up right now. Spray off, though, gets delved into as they make the incursion and the incision onto the site. No one there for Falcons to stop them. They've already backed off to save.
Lovely shots through the smoke as well. Fight back onto Simple. Dupree up close, overwhelmed on Dark. And like you say, because of it, knock-on effect is Snappy and Magisk have to save. There is still good money on a couple of the players, both Simple and Magisk. Nearly 9K in the pockets. Oh, Blitz. Hello? See him? 4x3 over the top.
He was so busy just enjoying the sightseeing on beach, he just didn't spot him. Oblivious. But survives. FaZe's had a hell of a game, 16-8 to his name, even though his team is struggling right now. In terms of his individual stats, he's got 4 multi-kill rounds and 3 open duels.
Oh, it's even more gross on replay. Full blind through the smoke, shots back.
Yeah.
God damn, Vince. And I think it's interesting as well, right? You bring up FaZe, right? That was obviously with a rifle. CT side, he was coming alive with the orb. He gets it straight back here.
That is true. Detour's also had a hell of a game. 83 ADR, 17 kills, 5 multi-kill rounds. Lovely stuff from him. The player that just nailed Simple through the smoke beforehand. And it's not going to surprise anybody if you've been watching the game that Snappy is top of the ADR charts for every single player on the server. 18 kills, 97 ADR with 4 multi-kill rounds. Really leading the charge for his team and trying to put them in the best possible stead at that 1-0 bracket. There's going to be some scary teams in that 0-1. Cloud9's already down there. Fnatic are already down there.
not where you want to end up. And the fight's not over for either one of these teams. Eclot keeping it close. FaZe. Curious to see how much impact he'll find with his AWP this time around. Simple's got one as well, but he's not posted up in the usual location on B. He's round towards A, supporting the rest of the squad. Posturing from the T side. Looks for a late hit on the B bomb site. Exchange of nades at mid, tons of noise. Dupree's got the molly primed in his hand. He could drop the incendiary if they go for the audio cue down on the fight. Might get backstabbed though. He's got a back pedal from this, tries to defend, 1-for-1 trade. Kriaz, instant opener. Snappy on the site looking to assist, but they're still finding pickups. T-side carving away back into the bomb site here.
Snappy trying to stay alive, but there is a small gap in the smoke, and Kriaz will exploit that. And how Simple and Majors have the tumultuous task of deciding, do they want to try and fight in a 2v4 or back off? And although we have the benefit of seeing two players are exceptionally low, Falcons have no idea. And to make matters worse for Simple, he's lost his partner in crime. He's lost his bodyguard. And now he has to do it all alone if he wants to hold on to this AWP. But there is also a flanking contingent from Kreese. Simple in all kinds of problems. Is he really thinking of trying to push out and ninja this? He gets spotted. If he can get this kill, there was a way forward, but MBQQ holds the line. There was a split second there. I thought he was going to successfully pull off the cheekiest of plays.
It would really be brutal for them, is obviously just a few rounds ago it felt like they were high rolling, they had all the money in the world. Instead here it's far more uncomfortable. Simple going down, losing the AWP. About 4.7k in his back pockets. Highest player was about 5k on someone there, so there is a reinvestment. Ooh. I mean, he pulls it out, but you're making concessions. All right then, round 22. They've emptied all the cash in the wallets. And Eclot 1 round away from tying up the game. This is their opener at the RMRs, Vince, and they are playing like they want to take this win. They are not giving up.
Nah, they're not rolling over, and they're certainly not dying. I do wonder if Majors can't have died. I don't think Simple goes for that ninja attempt, by the way. I think he felt like he was a dead man regardless, so might as well try and take the round win. Speak of the man, though, delivers. Oh, double nades, touchdown, perfect. Executing him through just pure shrapnel. And now Snappy, isolated, segregated from the site. Can hear it being planted, wants to try and thread through the smoke for the denial, but instead loses his life. And in doing so, Falcons now find themselves a player behind, and with their money in the drain, they can't really justify going for this, Jackie. We'll be tied back up at 11 apiece. After Falcons went on a tear in this half, 5 unanswered rounds, they're now hanging by a thread. Is it really possible that Eclot are about to do this?
11-11. Simple with the AWP trying to be the savior of the site at the back of A. Finds one pick. 2 nades straight to the dome. They expand onto the site, shut down Snappy, and it's smooth sailing into the 23rd. All tied up now. And you mentioned the money, you can see it reflected here. It's brutal with what they've got left to play with.
Double grenades. And it was on his feet as well. Both of them were perfectly placed.
The double nade me fucking ropes.
I mean, he summarized it perfectly.
Yeah. He should be a commentator, actually.
Like, honestly, mate, he's an articulate guy, Vince. Oh, man. Weird vibe in the Falcons camp as well. Like, a lot of the times we're cutting to these player cameras, you're seeing Dupree looking like it's just getting to him. It's irking him. Zonic's just always trying to get him back on target, right? That's what he does best, man. There's a reason why you always want to listen to him. You want to dial in. He knows what he's talking about, but how do you even command them back at this point, Vince? 11-11, such a stark contrast in the buys. Falcons, they haven't got a pretty one.
Yeah, and the thing is with Zonic, obviously, he knows Majors can do pretty so well from their time at Astralis together. he knows exactly what's going to G them up or perhaps tilt them. You know, it's having that interpersonal relationships with players that can help a ton. Some players need a kick up the backside, some need an arm around the shoulder. And what Falcons need right now is just a round win, and they've lost dupreeh. Sneaking his way down into canals. We've not really seen Falcons go for this play yet. And the first time they pull it out the hat, it gets taken clean out, expelling him from having any further say in this round. Now, a solid grenade was there as a parting gift. It doesn't change the dynamic of this round, and Falcons having to use a lot of their grenades already. Desperation creeping in, desperately trying to fend them off.
You've dumped nearly everything on A main. Snappy goes in for the info. Oh, maybe this has tricked them as well, leading them to believe that they're actually going to backpedal, posture off, go for the late hit towards the B side, but they've just cut noise. They're taking extra space. They can go for a two-pronged attack, out through camera. Snappy, it was rough last time with the MP9, but this time he's got the drop on him. No, he doesn't. Detour spots him. MP9 deleted from the server. Another frag to their favor. Looking to take match point here versus Falcons, and they've got a pathway onto the bomb site. Only one man there, it's Magisk. Can he go monstrous with the M4? Trying to hold back the wave, they run on in. First headshot to clean connection, seconds there as well. Flick up, but too little too late. Madden arrives, MP9 shuts down Detour, but he's gone to force it, and it's all simple. 1v2, 13 seconds. If he can deny the plant, they could still win this one. Takes the head off, jumps into the bomb site, flying through the air. It's simple to save it for Falcons.
What? 5 HP, every bullet of the magazine, and he is hype. They had no right to even be close in that round, and Eclot have just given Falcons the largest of lifelines. They lost the first, it was a 3v5, and they had full mid control, full camp control. A main was theirs, Mage just got 2, that was huge, but Simple here with the vintage performance. They know how important that round is. They were eyeing up being into an eco right now, or a full force with like 5.7s MP9s. Oh, what a moment in this game. Still not done just yet though, Jackie. The job is still afoot. They still need to close this out.
You would have been playing for the overtime. Now that's what Eclot have to do, and dupreeh with the smoke shot straight through dark. A ton of impact on that one. An important time to win his 1v1 versus Kriaz in the close quarters engagements. They've come back from worse, but it is not going to be easy. 60 seconds on the timer here in the 24th round. Blitz, bombarded by the nade, tagged up. dupreeh playing anti-flash, got support from Madden for the full attack. They're going to go in together, crouch walk into the crosshairs. Madden with 1, MBQQ back for 2 as well. Are they still on for this? Can they force us to the OT? It's Simple on the site.
Another moment of release will be required from the star. So much damage through the smoke though from Snappy. Forzi and MBQQ both tagged to around 10 HP. Could be finished off through the smoke as Mages gets aggressive, and there is Snappy with 2. Now shows his hand. He's been so clinical, so huge this entire match, but he will not have any further impact and regulation. Detour shuts him down for his 23rd, and we head to OT.
An explosion of kills on the bomb site. They thrive in the carnage at the end there. So close to tasting victory in the BO1 versus Falcons. Thrown a curveball, bested by Simple, soaring through the sky once again with the MP9, the 1v2 at the back of B. But they equalize. They do not give up. They don't roll over. They don't crumble. They take us to overtime, reset the game. Opportunity again now for Eclot. And with how they've been playing, they've got a damn good chance.
There'd have been so many naysayers of Eclot, like, yeah, sure, they've got loads of wins online, but that's different to the RMRs. You're going to be playing against better caliber teams now. Well, they've came here and they have delivered. There are multiple times that a lesser team would have crumbled. They'd have just faded away. Oh, well, we got beat by Simple. It is what it is. Now, these guys are here and they are fighting for every scrap, every inch of this map. After a horrendous loss in the previous round in that 1v2 for Simple, the Guardian Angel of Falcons, they did not let it stop them.
Let's fucking go! Let's go, Dito!
Guys, we are so much better on this fucking map.
Oh, you love to hear it, mate. The self-belief is all that's important. Counter-Strike is confidence. Showing that right now. Forget about the issues with cash, though. Money all across the board. FaZe and Simple. The AWPers that can do so much for either team. Armed with their signature weapons again, but Simple takes a ton of damage, forced off the advanced angle from mid.
You can understand why they're saying that we're so much better on this map. It has been individual moments of madness from Snappy, from Simple, that's really kept them in this game. Hot off the back of winning that second pistol round. So Eclot have every right to feel confident. Their own worst enemy at times in this matchup. The MBQQ, taking significant damage, may stop his endeavors in A main for the time being. Down to 32, doesn't want to take bullets through the smoke. Done a good job, though, of getting plenty of this utility off. There's only one smoke left with 49 seconds on the clock and an incendiary on top of it. The choices now for Eclot are plentiful. They don't have mid control. That is one potential problem, but Blitz is trying to rectify that right now. Uh-oh.
3 bullets left, panic setting in, gives up the position. Smoke deep as well, and they're not actually going for the mid play. It's all a setup for the late hit onto the back of B. Madden, they're going to run you down. Up close and personal, Dupree on the off angle, goes in, good damage. Madden and Simple activating in unison, and one by one, Eclot are falling to pieces. You've only got 8 seconds left to clutch this one out. They have to take the fights, and it's Simple with the collat through the smoke. Only required 1 bullet.
Oh, normally it's 3 strikes and you're out, but Simple had plenty of lifelines in that round. When he missed those first 2 in mid, I was fearing the worst for him. A really good hold from Dupree and Magisk, though. And there is the lineup. 2 for 1. Low time left. Why not throw in the Hail Mary? And you've got tons of bodies around you to spray down with the M4s. Eclot, though, did have moments in that round as well. I don't think anyone was anticipating it to be this close when we started this best of 1. And yet here we stand. Krias around the corner, good flash. Simple getting peppered and found and picked off. Huge scalp to take so early on.
Get away with taking some liberties on the peak as well. They get the read. You spot Snappy, cast out the utility, and get Falcons in their own heads, expecting the play out towards A. Spray down from Magisk, back of the pillar. Bullets don't land. Snappy can't find it either. It's been Madden making hero maneuvers again and again, but only 2 frags. Throws it over to Dupree. And shot straight in the back as FaZe had the angle. They equalize again.
So much resilience from this Eclot bunch of players. Man, they are looking solid right now. Falcons making mistakes, but Eclot are punishing it so efficiently. I mean, it's the flash into double spray onto Simple to kick things off, and he didn't really have any bodyguard system either. Was playing all up on his own lonesome. Do keep in mind, though, that the CT side started very poorly for Eclot. So it feels like they may need this round. If it goes away of Falcons, they're going to be in trouble. Shot across from FaZe, does miss out onto Snappy, who's keeping himself aggressive in mid.
It's been Kriaz and Snappy clashing early into an awful lot of these rounds. And again here, he just posts up, seeing if there'd be any maneuvers out towards mid-side. Simple pressure put on him. Supporting Dupree inside a dark, forced out, holds the angle. Miss on the shot, though. That one does not land. Now you know where the AWP is. You've got more information, slowly squeezing an idea of where the setup is from the Falcons, and they opt to group up once again. Bit of pressure back towards mid-side, see if they can slip out, go for the split push play onto the A site.
Snappy with a jiggle. Pete wants to throw it. Incendiary down. Well timed. It's going to keep the T's at arm's reach. Allows a rotation quickly. But they're actually stacking plays still over on B. They haven't budged an inch, and it could be the correct decision. They've done enough to force them back. There's not going to be much time left. And Simple in the shooting gallery kneecaps Detour. Has spot multiple players drop down, and they go back again. So dizzy with all these rotations, but Eclot have an opportunity now in a 2 versus 5 on this approach. They've lost the first player, who are weakened up by nades, and our mages can just pivot in for the spray. Gets 1, Blitz there with 2. A 2-on-3, just getting the bomb planted down, but they're hemorrhaging losses, and Dupree puts the final nail in the coffin. Falcons lead in the second half of OT.
Final nail in the coffin. But in a lot of these rounds, it felt like they were the ones being set up on a date with the coroner. So many times, Eclot were able to abuse, find ways in, pick up some monstrous kills, even in rounds where they were down and out. And only 1 round of difference between both of them. They've contended with similar scorelines over the course of regulation. But the second half of OT is where it counts.
Such a close, well-fought battle between these two. It's almost a shame that we have to have a loser come the end of this. But 0-1 beckons from one of these two teams.
Nice play! Good moves.
Good moves indeed. There's a lot of rotations towards the end there for Falcons to contend with, but they were in the right place at the right time. And again, I go back to, in regulation, they got 6 rounds, but 5 of those were at the end of the half. It was dominant for Falcons in the early stages. So if Falcons can continue that kind of form, this one could be over pretty quick. It's down to Eclot now with a double orb setup.
They were never afforded this luxury. During regulation, the money was always in a rough spot. It's a play potentially Falcons won't be expecting, but it's more what you get done with it. MBQQ. Deep on towards A main. It's Kriaz that's trying to control towards camera. Took a lot of damage from the Molotov early. Couple of ticks, burning HP away from him. Loses 40 health from the opening moments. Still a minute on the clock. Close grouping outside of the B side. Dupree looking for the walk-on in.
Oh, Detour's in a really awkward spot here. Holding B by yourself is such a paranoia-inducing experience. You're trying to watch so many angles at the same time and hoping and praying that you're not about to be someone's lunch. And now he's about to find out. His days may be numbered. Going to be playing more of a passive angle, though, more for a retake, see if he can snatch a life away on the approach. And the rotation's coming in quick, though. He will have backup. Reinforcements have arrived.
Nade out, break the smoke. Detour takes 1 straight back. Softens him up. They're in their post plant, set up for this. Snappy with a nade in his hands, dashes it deep. Again, making it more uncomfortable. They're all here, revving their engines. They've got flashbangs to instigate the push, but it's got to be absolutely pristine, especially with the timer being the 6th man on the server for Falcons. Snappy in a primetime angle. Cannot deliver though. Detour blind, still fragging. Dupree clashes back. Magisk inside a dark, shrouding the round in an air that should be Falcons as Magisk spray seals onto 2 with no real time left. FaZe trying to bait them in, but even if he does, the bomb's going to detonate in his face, and Falcons will climb to 15.
Oh, they climbed to 15, all right. And this is where that double AWP setup is a bit of a problem for Eclot. They should be able to still juggle around enough grenades to be dropped across the teammates, but MBQQ was without an incendiary, without a flash. They'll have another double AWP to play with. Wasn't really effective anyway because they're retaking most of the round.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, I'm sorry, Simple, I will. Sorry. Bye-bye.
Oh, it's taught you a lesson, Vince.
My lips are sealed.
Big man Sasha told you what's up.
I do wonder what the context for that was, though.
Yeah.
Like, are you telling Snappy that?
Oh, God. All right. Well, they're on match point again. 16. That's the number they're looking for to close it. Has to be 2 CT rounds back to back. Awful lot of damage early as well. Similar start, Kriaz taking tons of damage from the util. Left on sub 50.
Oh, creeping their way through that smoke right now. The entry is clean. Kriaz needed the kill, got it, but it's going to be traded out immediately. FaZe, though, in the right position and the right time to pull the trigger. And they have done enough to pull back away the T's, but have a quick look at Dupree. He's already on B site. He's got it cleanly cut as well and can smoke off Temple. This facilitates his teammates to come in and blitz so desperate. May have assumed that was a set play smoke from outside of B. Just run straight into the AK. And this could be the beginning of the end for Eclot. They desperately need this 2v3. FaZe and Detour in moves. Nearly 50 kills between the two of them. But the positions are looking so difficult to deal with. And Simple providing the watch spot from Con. Madden playing with his food up close with the AK. They're going to force their way out, but they double peek him. And there's no re-engaging frag. The timer is low on the bomb. Simple just needs to hold fire for one frag. That could be good enough. Lands the shot. Now we have it. Falcons withstand all those tests and dial in the 1-0.
Celebrations for the Falcons. But it all could have gone so wrong. Simple, giving them that match point.